going forward. All right, let's move straight to our next conversation. The mounting uproar over the issue of real-time electronic transmission of election results is taking new twists. Pressure has continued to mount for lawmakers to amend the Electoral Act to accommodate electronic transmission of results. In a new development, civil society organizations, CSOs, alongside former presidential candidate Peter Obi, staged a protest at the National Assembly demanding that electronic transmission of results from polling units be made mandatory. The protesters marched through the streets of Abuja carrying placards with several inscriptions, including "Say no to electoral fraud," "Akpabio e-transmission is a must," and a whole lot. All right, GKB, let's start this way. I mean, first of all, what triggered this protest, and also, was the protest even necessary?
Well, in terms of politics, everything is necessary.
Oh, okay.
You must
now
understand,
you're politicizing it.
Yeah, you must understand that opposition parties will grab at any straw.
Okay.
It's really going forward to make a point.
Okay.
What's the meaning of this? I keep asking people. The beavers is basically an electronic device to register number of people that voted at that particular police station. According to lawyers I've spoken with, Form EC8 is the mandatory record for votes casted at that particular polling booth. Real time, if I can understand what they are saying, is that you want the result of that polling booth immediately on your phone to tell you that this is what is scored. But people keep forgetting that the EC8 form is the one you will take to court if you have problems with the results. It's the one your agent will sign, showing that they were there. It was counted while they were there, and the results was valid. If I send to you e-results of every polling booth, and you are going to do your own calculation based on what level, based on state level, are you going to use that basically to contradict the one INEC is going to do that is recognized in law?
So what you're saying, if it's on, it's not justiciable, is that what you're saying?
It's not. It's a waste of time. Because what is needed is very clear. You are not asking for electronic voting. You automatically lead to electronic transmission of results. You are still going to do manual voting. You are still going to do manual collation. You are still going to fill the EC8 form. They will still have to announce the results from the polling booth to the ward, to the state, to federal. All these steps will still take place. All you're asking for that people are shouting about is what I don't really understand. So you have the results. How do you mandate the courts to rely on the results you got on your phone from the results presented by INEC? Make that make sense. Because when people just use emotions to make noise, I realize it's a political season. So I give it to them. They have the right to twist anything they want. I keep asking, will this change the format that we are still going to use in 2027? Are we going to vote electronically? No. We are voting manually.
Yes.
Are we still going to be recorded? The number of people that presented their cards for them to be registered on Beavers, to know that 500 people were registered, 300 people turned up. It's not going to change that.
Okay.
What will this change going forward is what I still don't know. But I'm willing to concede that I may not be as smart as they are. Luckily, tomorrow the Senate will sit,
yes,
and we have a clarity.
Okay.
Where our Senate is going.
I mean, BKO, let's begin this way. The protest that happened today, well, what were the key demands, of the protesters? And also, Peter Obi earlier today was seen among the protesters, and he led, was seen among the protesters. What's your reading of this? What's your interpretation of this whole matter?
No, if listening to your intro, I heard that the protesters were asking for electronic transmission of results. That is not, the people who are pushed are people out to protest. their protest is about the fact that real time was not added to the bill that the Electoral Act that the Senate passed. That is the difference, real time. The Senate approved electronic transmission of results. So people shouldn't be saying, oh, they're asking for electronic transmission of results. They are saying that they should have left the phrase real time, so that it should be real time electronic transmission of results. But I look at even some of our friends in the NGOs who are pushing this argument. They know that it is not in every part of our country that you can transmit results real time. You cannot transmit results real time across the length and breadth of our country. Osun State has, of all the states in Nigeria, Osun State has the highest number of urban centers. Big towns. It has more big towns than other states in our country. Yet, in that same Osun State, in some of the local governments, in some of the wards of local governments, there is no internet penetration. In fact, when I was doing my research, I observed that Atakumosa East local government, Ward 2, for instance, in Atakumosa Eastern, you have GSM service in just one of the polling units. Out of the 7 polling units there, you have GSM service. You can enjoy GSM service in just one of the polling units there. The same thing for Ife South, Ila, Ifedayo, even in Iwo local government, there are polling units where your phone will not work. And I gave the example yesterday that Kuriga, that is the community where bandits kidnap Kaduna students. Kuriga is on the way to Briningwari. I stopped there to do some investigative work last year in January. In Kuriga, you cannot use your phone. And that long stretch, a good chunk of that long stretch going to Briningwari, people can use their phones. And when you get to Briningwari itself, you cannot transfer money to people with your phone. Bandits have destroyed all the base stations in the area. So even if you are buying a lorry load of cattle from Briningwari, you will pay with cash. I have people that I interviewed who told me that, look, in this place, we can only transact business by cash. When people want to make phone calls, and I also have videos of people that I recorded them on the outskirts of Briningwari city who had climbed a mountain, climbed trees, just for them to be able to use phones. So what is real time that we are talking about here? I blame the Akpabio-led Senate because they didn't communicate effectively. Everything should not just be said to Nigerians in a dismissive way, in a flippant way. You have to communicate. You can't turn everything to a jocular session. You can't turn the National Assembly sessions to jocular sessions. You must communicate effectively. Nobody is saying that they have removed electronic transmission. they are using that. There are some of the people who are mobilizing people. They are lying to the young people because they know a lot of our young people are not interested in reading. They are lying to them that the National Assembly does not want electronic transmission. But the opposition leaders in the Senate, people like Abaribe, people like Ireti Kingibe, people like Tambuwal, they came out to say, no, electronic transmission was not banned. It was not stopped by the Senate. The only thing was that they removed real time. That was the only thing they did. They removed real time because they also knew that it is not practicable to transmit results real time across all the around 176,000 polling centers in our country. So that is, and Akpabio said, all we said during the discussion was that we should remove real time, because if we say real time, then there is a network or grid failure and the network is not working. When you go to court, somebody will say it ought to have been real time. So they were trying to avoid a potential banana peel, whereby people will say, oh, why didn't you transmit my result in real time? But if our people deserve to vote wherever they may be in the rural areas, like Kuriga is a densely populated community. The people deserve to choose their leaders. But there's no network services. In fact, General Christopher Mossad, who is the Minister of Defense today, told me that it was the next day after those children had been taken, after they had been abducted from their schools, that the military got to know. Because there was no way they could communicate by phone. I've been to many places in northern Nigeria where to investigate security stories. And I discovered I could not use my phone throughout. A lot of our people who are talking are imagining that every part of Nigeria is like Lagos and Abuja. Many of them don't even travel anyway. They sit in their offices, including some of the so-called journalists. They don't go out. So they don't know what happens in many of the communities in our country. You go to Borno North. How many places in Borno North have internet penetration? How many places in Borno North you can use your phone? When I went to Mafa, ordinary Mafa, not far from the state capital, I couldn't use my phone in Mafa. And Mafa is the governor's adopted hometown. I couldn't use my phone. So if I could not use my phone, those people voting in those places, can anybody in real sense, anybody who is honest, can he say that he can transmit results real time? What is the meaning of real time? So if you photograph from EC8A in a place where there is no network, what are you transmitting? That means you just snap it. You cannot send. We are just a complicated people. It is clear that it is not in all parts of our country where you can transmit real time. This was what the Senate was trying to avoid when it decided to remove real time.
Okay.
The law on electronic transmission is still there. And they were trying to give INEC flexibility to determine the mode of result transmission, taking into account the possibility of technological issues and the possibility of even security issues. Of course, we can make it possible for every part of our country to have internet access. Maybe we are going to make Elon Musk a lot richer by acquiring Starlinks. You take Starlink to all the remote areas. Do we have the resources now to make that happen? And you don't blame telcos who are refusing to build base stations in places where they know security is terrible,
Okay.
or in places where they believe they will not get return on investment.
All right.
So this is the issue. So how do we come out of here?
Okay, BKO.
There has to be, hold on a bit.
Okay.
There has to be a situation in which if everything else fails, this is the fallback option. That is the way it is all over the world. I don't think there is any country where you have internet access in all the length and breadth of that country. There will be some places, maybe some wilderness, you will not have access to internet.
Okay.
No matter how advanced that country is. But we must trust our electoral system. We must trust the managers of our electoral system. But the truth is, even some of us do not trust ourselves. So how do we trust people entrusted with conducting elections for us?
Okay. All right. I've just been told that we have Raymond calling in from Ikorodu. Raymond, are you still there? Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Let's talk.
Big deal, I greet you. What I observe about this protest is, honestly speaking, I am not against any protest, constructive protest. But I think, like Big Deal said, it's just a calculated attempt by some disgruntled elements just to mar the process that's been on in the House of Assembly. He has said it all. How many places in this country do we have internet facilities? And this thing has continued to cause some problems. There's no way you can communicate, no matter how important the message is. If you are not out of where this communication system, there's nothing anyone can do about that. Those who came out in the name of protesting that the House of Assembly should do something right, so we can agree that they should do something right. But the bottom line is that.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, we need to pay